Muina Kwaba at the Bankasa TV for the former Attorney General friend Ayikoi Otoo Ekopimo a assassin radio the forum at the Sembi to dra Tifonia Semketua. Now some upon a yigu one on the Tifo na ano din papa na enisu sa esoso. Na Excellence John Dramani Mahama de Tifo upon a bo a chief supreme aya Semketua cra. No chima sitting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We diga na phone na atro na so dey na the nim etwitwi from e say also ba 128 days no ba wa be bodwuma na seniama action so manga no mu ha be 120 days per abaya rechange na so ba ye ni yie na abaya kra behwe na so no chimo setinu isi 128 days na betwim na so hwe eniama ekoso e manga no mu ha cocaine transactions ekoso nsama hopsi na obi ado eso sa edbeto bia na eniama ekoso tum se debi. Some Enkuye Kran, or she was setting. Bahama's 128 days social contract is a campaign gimmick. And as a also Simu Premier or Chema, or this is John Dramani Mahama promises now or making 128 promises. No, it said to suggest a failed promise, and I said to suggest something to get a vote from Aya Ghanaians. No, that's what the addressing to here on my opinion. As a politician, that's all the in semi betoga also that deadline about 2 hours. So it's so making sure to know.
Tendencies that I've seen from the government is good. It's encouraging, of democracy that ought to be growing, except that the troubling matters are just more. And so that if I say that it's been abysmal, it is not because I'm trying to be mischievous. It's only to underscore that I've tried hard to find good spots, but I just can't find it. Because, you see, on a matter of democracy, I think that the president is taking either intended or unintended aim at our democracy, at the core of our democracy. This whole business of trying to remove the Chief Justice, it cannot be apologized for. Then nobody can convince me that it makes any democratic sense, okay, in terms of the practice and the furtherance of democracy in our country. Removing Chief Justice does not make any rational sense. Okay,
we'll get into that properly.
So I'm saying that on that account, I can say that this administration has performed poorly on that score, because really what brought them to office is democracy, and if they're aiming to affect that, for me, they cannot be excused. So,
what has happened? I mean, not to get into the matter, but what has happened?
I mean, even
the president is just, following what the Constitution says he should do. If he hadn't followed that will have consequences for him as well, as somebody who is failing to adhere to the dictates of the Constitution.
I'm sure that Ghanaians would understand, especially when the reasons being advanced for such a removal, for want of a better word, are flimsy, are self-serving, are political in nature. I mean, the readings that we have around the subject matter, okay, tells you. I mean, and you're a lawyer, your observation of the space, is there anything egregious that is tantamount to say, let's remove her to solve a problem? I mean, is there anything that expressly egregious?
But see, it makes it difficult because we don't know what is contained in the petition.
I'm just saying that we can make a reasonable guesstimation at the issue because we are all living in this country.
Yeah, so that is not be general. That be the issues known to the public.
Yes,
but
the issues that
three persons have filed petitions.
How many are we?
No. Some of the issues could be personal or could be specific to some things that may not be public or general.
Yeah.
So maybe until we see those reasons and see what justification she has for them, it will be difficult to.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying that I'm making a system argument to you that a compelling evidence to say that remove Chief Justice should be overwhelming, should be one that you can, without writing the petition, can agree that yes, if somebody is writing a petition, I think the person should go, because the conduct of the person affects the system. Because if we're being carried, okay, and the system that is supporting us to be carried is breached in a manner that if we pretend that it's not breached, we'll just fall. So if somebody says, let's break it and rebuild it, we cannot fault that person. You get what I'm trying to say?
But
that the system is breached in a way that we cannot reconcile the Chief Justice being there. We have not arrived at any evidence whatsoever
but
that it is such that the Chief Justice must go to sustain our democracy, because her being there is injurious to our democracy.
I'm not sure. Is that a conversation?
It is the reason.
No, is that a conversation?
The conversation must be about that.
Yeah,
because to remove a Chief Justice, it's not child's play.
It's a good place to start.
Yes,
from, right?
yes. Because
the Chief Justice or the judiciary is not isolated from the general laws of the country.
Absolutely.
And there's a way the law says that if you have a problem with a justice of the Superior Court or the Chief Justice for that matter, you deal with it in a certain manner. And that process is happening. People have submitted petitions. The president has no view on the petition as far as we know now. He has ferried the petition to the Council of State, which is the right thing to do. While doing that, the lady, the Chief Justice, Honorable, wanted a view or wanted to also have a bite at the allegation. She wanted to see it, even though it wasn't expressly stated that she should be given. But for fairness sake, she was given the opportunity to have a bite at the issue. She's responded. Council of State is sat on the matter or sitting on the matter. We understand they are almost done. They'll take their recommendations back to the president. The president will then form a view about what the prima facie situation will look like. So this is all scripted, this is all documented. And if it so happens, and mind you, the people on the Council of State are persons of high repute. Sofia Akufu, Justice Adinira, Doa Jaho, all of those guys are there and they'll be key in this decision making. Sofia Akufu is not new to prima facie establishment. She established a prima facie against Charlotte Osei. So she knows what it is. And she's been on the bench for the longest time in our republic. So these are persons we should accord some respect and some reverence in terms of the matters. We can't say all these people seated around the table will be unfair if the facts show a certain, or the facts are in a certain direction. So I think as part of maintaining institutions and strengthening institutions, we need to believe in the wisdom of these eminent people we have assembled around the Council of State.
There's no doubt about that.
So why don't we trust what their judgment will be on the matter?
We can trust.
In any case, many of them have been on the Supreme Court bench. We've trusted their verdicts. Speaker of Parliament is there. We've trusted how he has dealt with Parliament, ruling on matters here and there. And we are here as a republic.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. But the point is that we must recognize that in the scheme of things, this is the People's Republic. Okay? This is a democracy that we, the people, have endorsed, and a few have been selected to, lead its management and sustenance. Now, matters to do with, the judiciary is a key plank, okay, in our setup. And so, therefore, if you're aiming at that, the matter should be expressed.
Let me say you're aiming at that. That presupposes that the government is aiming at the judiciary. But these are citizens of Ghana who submitted petitions to the presidency or to the president. It's not the first time. Sometime in November, December, somebody, a citizen of Ghana, also presented a petition to the president. And the president said he didn't find anything in there. 3 other ones have come. The president did what he had to do. He ferried it to the Council of State. In the end, there was nothing. So why do you fault this president for doing the same thing? And we've not heard what his verdict is on the matter yet.
So what I'm trying to say is in all intent and purposes, cautionary. And there's no pun intended to say that it is John Mahama that has a certain agenda. But in a scheme of political conversation, you want to impugn that. You understand? You want to impugn that. But because when it happens, it will be under him that this is happening. But I'm just saying that I'm worried, really worried, that we will create such a precedent. Because you cannot hold the hand of a future president, okay, who has some tendency or certain agenda, okay, to say that I will also do that because there's a precedent happened before. So they can cook the idea.